Good morning, YouTube. This is Ensign Merlin back for Deadman Diaries number 2, Survival at All Costs. Put together a cute little intro and everything. Spent a little time thinking about just what I'm going to do after kind of just messing about aimlessly most of yesterday. Kind of just, well, the content, let's be frank, is not that great. So, I've put together a little something for you. Feel free to skip the first episode if you want. But, as a little recap, I am Ensign Merlin. I come from a game design background, and I tend to over prepare obsessively for like every combat encounter in base RuneScape. I am, on my main account, a high level RuneScape player, all skills 99 plus. I know everyone says that, but I'm using that very same account just on a Deadman profile now. I primarily played what you could technically call old school RuneScape back from 2002 to 2007 as a free to play player. And I've mostly really gotten back into RuneScape through RuneScape 3 in 2019, but I still play on the Legacy Combat mode just because I kind of got back in at a high enough level where learning all the abilities was honestly a little bit intimidating. I'm also a veteran of Darkscape. I did not do a whole lot of PvP, but I did have a lot of time spent experimenting with the members' content, and it kind of got me into actually choosing to subscribe later on just because I was able to get that nice preview of everything else I was missing out on. And a little death here and there was not the worst thing in the world. I'm mostly used to the grind. I do a lot of AFK grinding on my main account while I'm either getting work done or watching videos. And I do almost no PVM or bossing. I haven't even killed the giant mole on my account despite the high level. And I am not, as you can tell, exactly that experienced or skilled when it comes to PvP either. So, the plan is, in Deadman, you get to pick 5 skills that will never lose XP when you die. So, I've decided on 3 of them. Skill number 1 is Magic. It's going to give me a ranged combat option, which is really nice. Access to the teleport network, which is, you know, going just about anywhere to recover stats, gain XP, just huge convenience boost. And of course, if my opponent doesn't have a super high magic score themselves, they can't teleblock me. I also, coming from RuneScape 3, really want to try the Arceus spellbook. That's one of the like really cool new content things I've wanted to try in old school. There's also a lot of utility in the Lunar spellbook, and ancient magic is like crazy broken. Finally, I'll have a easily regainable set of lunar armor, which, once I complete that quest, that is a like, what, level 65 item I just have to pay gold for. That's going to be pretty nice to see. Also, I mean, it's Ensign Merlin. I have to be a wizard. Number 2, defense. This is kind of a no-brainer. Like, every single armor. I know there's a lot of people that would probably swear prayer has to be your, number 2 combat skill. Because of your 5 skills you can save, you get to pick 2 combat skills and 3 non-combat skills. But for me, for someone who doesn't have a lot of experience with prayer flicking and stuff like that, defense is just absolutely going to save me. Also, if uh, they can't hit me and their accuracy is low, then the defense is going to be great. It'll let me just run away and hopefully survive to live another day. Also, armor does kind of give you a little buff to your damage at times, or accuracy. So having to re-earn that high defense would just be really killer. I'd have to save all my old armor sets and eesh. Number 3, agility. This is kind of the most essential non-combat skill in a PvP kind of thing. Not only will it let me use shortcuts that other people may not necessarily have access to, but I can outrun them and outlast them with a higher run stamina. Going fast, keeps you alive. So if they only have level 1 agility and I've got 99, I just need to take maybe, 3 hits before they are just flat out of energy and just cannot pursue me. Also, having that high agility will help me get to the places I need to restore my other skills faster. And there are 29 quests in base old school RuneScape. I did a little bit of research that really kind of require agility to, even unlock them. Skills 4 and 5, though, I'm still a little bit undecided. There's certainly a lot of contenders. Herblore and Slayer are definitely two of the major ones I'm thinking about. But a lot of skills are either not that applicable in that many situations, or still pretty easy to recover as long as you've got kind of enough combat and agility to survive, I think. So that's going to be a-okay. So, last time I was on, I explored the world from Lumbridge to Varrock, kind of relived some of my memories, went through Tutorial Island, completed the Rune Mysteries quest to get me into rune crafting. My mining kind of went up from getting essence, just as a passive thing, thanks to the massive XP buff of just being in the first 12 hours of Deadman. I wasn't sure if other players would appear in the world around me or not, since I hadn't seen any during my initial time online. But I did find them hanging around the Grand Exchange, so it looks like the traffic of Deadman mode and its general world is pretty low. That means is I'm probably not going to be able to rely on the Grand Exchange to get me items and other things I'm going to need. And that is definitely going to be a big deal, because that means I'm going to have to work with a sort of Iron Man progression mindset. And oh boy, I was not completely sure if I would have to do that, so that's where a lot of my decision making is coming from. Today, my plan is to get a knife and start fletching some trees, making arrows, kill cows for cowhide, uh, get some sinew and meat to give me a little bit of an early game food source, gather feathers, more meat from the chickens nearby, also in Lumbridge, travel to Al Kharid to train my fishing and cooking a little, as well as tanning those hides into proper ranged armor, travel to Varrock, start mining for bronze again to make myself a bronze crossbow and some bolts. Uh, that way I'll be able to use my new ranged gear to take out some wizards, get runes, and finally use those to train magic. I know it's a little bit convoluted, but trying to use just basic gear to take on those wizards is not going to be a good time. Uh, Melee armor is only going to get in the way. Using magic to fight them is not going to be any good because I don't have runes, but crossbows and bolts are both cheap, plentiful, and easily Iron Manable, especially in a world that's seeing a pretty low population. So, I'll see you guys in game. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, and I am here once again in Deadman RuneScape. I am going to be following the plan I've just kind of laid out in that little intro. Gonna see if I can find myself a knife, start some fletching. Should be one around here. Alright, we have got ourselves a knife and we can start the fletching grind. Alright, I forgot. I'm going to need to head back to Alcarid Bank just to pick up my axe. Although I guess I could just kill a few goblins and buy a new one at Bob's. I'm still pretty new to doing things as a YouTuber, so this is very much kind of a learning experience for me, getting used to talking to kind of an empty screen and environment and talking to myself. I don't really do that much talking to myself, so it's really kind of just the process of, getting comfortable, being here, kind of explaining things to nobody. It's going to be kind of a journey in a lot of ways when it comes to doing this. Here we are, Bob. 16. Damn. That really worth the price of... Oh, I could pickpocket. Travel time is definitely kind of one of the bigger concerns I'm noticing already. Just kind of how long everything really kind of takes. Especially when I only have about 12 hours to kind of get everything together. Here we go, fletching 9. Now I can make myself that crossbow stock. And that is part 1 of getting our crossbow stuff. Alright, and before heading to Alcarid, since I'm already in Lumbridge, I'm just going to take care of a few cows to fill up my inventory, help me get that meat for some sinew, get a little bit started on that leather grind, so I can start preparing to have some proper armor as well. I've kind of just also decided to up my attack level a tiny bit just while I'm here, so that way I'll be landing more of my hits on these cows. It also goes for boosting my strength. Again, all early game things. None of it really is going to have bearing on the long-term game plan. And there we go. That should be it for my quick grind in this area. As you can see, I have chosen to raise my melee stats just a little bit, so that way the early game resource farming will be kind of faster. Hitting ones, sitting back and waiting, especially when I'm on a kind of 12-hour timer, is really just going to absolutely kill me. Here we go, there's a range in here, and we can use that to get ourselves 1 sinew. The rest of these meats can just be turned into cooking XP and healing items. Can also buy some kebabs. Selling all my short bows, just for some quick cash. I'm going to go to the crafting shop. More than enough 10 thread. Ooh, free leather boots. Alright, I guess gloves it is for a bit. Here we go, leather cowl, vam braces. Okay, we're gonna need more leather. Gonna sell all these back to the shop. Recover a little gold, head back to the cows, and we'll be in business. Okay, we've recovered just about all of our gold from selling off those leather items. And our gear setup is everything but the chest piece and the legs. So we're just gonna take out a few more cows, get that leather chest piece, get those leather chaps, and I think we will be all good to go on the armor front. You know, I'm just gonna take that iron dagger. So yeah, I'm just gonna take it, I think. And there we go. That is one more inventory full of cows taken care of. I'm going to head back to Al Kharid, cook all these meat back up again, tan all these leathers, and maybe I'll even have myself a hard leather body. Okay, gonna need 28 crafting to make a hard leather. So I am at 14. That's gonna be a lot of leather, but I'm gonna have this hard leather ready to go when it is ready. And here we have our leather chaps. So with our crafting level 21, I think one more inventory worth of cows should do the trick. I'm just going to drop off everything I'm not going to need into the bank for now. Oh, we've got ourselves a clue scroll. I admit, I don't know all the clue scrolls, so I might just leave that in my bank till later. There we have it. We're ready to do our third load of cow inventories. Oh, and we are still 2 levels away from making that hard leather body. Oof. That's our first 4 hit. And here we are at our 4th inventory full of cows. That should be just enough, more than enough, to get us all the way to 28 crafting. And here we are, crafting 28. We can finally get that hard leather. Alright. And I'm just gonna turn the rest of these into leather chaps as well. Alright, that's all our excess leather gear sold off. I might do just a tiny bit of fishing. Just since I'm already over here, and I need to do my fishing anyway. Since I have 30 cooking, that 30 fishing, if I can just nab it right over here. This is just an easy place to sit and get all that XP. But tunas will definitely be, given that they're kind of the staple of the mid-game, I think, and harpoons are pretty cheap and widely available. So once I start doing that, I think that'll definitely bode well as an investment later on. So this is just kind of a like inexpensive small investment of time before I start journeying upward into Varrock, because I think I'm already here. I've already got some decent cooking. I think this is some time well spent. And 15. Now we can start getting anchovies. Fishing 20. Fishing 25. And wow, we have just jumped from like fishing 1 to 26 in a single inventory. At about the halfway mark, we kind of got 15 just from only catching our shrimp. So these boosted XP are definitely kind of like an essential getting things up and running quick. Sure, we don't need to have this done before our 12 hours are up, but I think setting this up and just getting a little bit of stuff underway, maybe it'll, help us when we get to quest time or something. Fishing 30! And that's our second full inventory from fishing with 32. I think I'll just do one more bout of fishing or two. Get that fishing to 40, get that cooking to 40. And we'll just be able to live off lobster. Go to Karumja, that'll be the dream. Fishing 35. Alright, that is, I believe, our third inventory full of fish, and we're now level 36. So, yeah, one more inventory might be needed to get us to level 40. In the meantime, more cooking XP. Level 40! Now we can cook our lobsters when we get there eventually. Alright, that is our third inventory, and we are still only 38. That, oof. And here we are, 40. Now we can start going after lobsters once we get to Karamja. I'm just gonna finish up this inventory, cook them all up again, and head to the bank. I do still need to do a lot of that mining and early smithing, smelting, that kind of thing. As you can see, we really don't have anything there at all for that. But if we're going to be using a crossbow, we're going to want to have either bronze or iron at our disposal, and both are easily obtainable up in Varrock. So while we didn't quite accomplish all of our goals for today, we still crossed off a good 3, I guess. We started fletching, we got our sinew, and we do have our full leather armor. We've got our fishing and cooking both to 40. Here we go, our full basic leather armor. That's really going to make our lives a lot easier when trying to harvest runes from wizards to up our magic skill. I know this seems, again, kind of like, why are we going for ranging when we're supposed to be going for magic? But I'm afraid as it is, with the Grand Exchange here not really being all that functional, and rune crafting just takes an insanely long time just walking around to places until you unlock the Orania teleport, that I'm just going to be prepping myself by killing wizards to get talismans and runes in the short term instead. And and our overall goal is to keep setting us up for the long-term and magic training. So, thank you all for sticking around for this episode, and I'll see you all in the next time. Thank you.